Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and we have breaking news. Moody's is warning a United States government shutdown would reflect negatively on America's credit rating. Here we go again. If you remember, one of my favorite scenes out of the Big Short movie was when they met with the S&P 500 lady, and she proceeds to tell them that they're asking her why the S&P never downgraded the credit default swaps until it was too late. And she started to explain how the S&P gets paid by the same Wall Street firms that are creating the products that they're that they're rating. And the guy said, "That's crazy. You're telling me that you're rating the same you're rating the products that they're packaging up, and then they're paying you to rate them? That's like a obvious conflict of interest." And she said, "Well, that's just the way that it's done. I'm sorry." And that's one of the things they never changed from the financial crisis. Why do you think that is? It's a rigged game, folks. But it's rigged. But because it's rigged in their favor, there's certain things we have to do out here to protect ourselves. One of them is physical gold, which I buy. My sponsor is Miles Franklin. My code is DAI Gold. If you email info@milesfranklin.com or call 952-929-7006, you can get the best pricing. Speaking of shutdowns, this was a screenshot of CNN when they were talking about a potential government shutdown. Shutdown ripple effect. Then yesterday, Jason Foster from Empower. These guys are like a dog with a bone. They're not letting go, folks. And they're also not conspiracy theorists. New Freedom of Information Act request for former SEC Chairman Jay Clayton's communications. And by the way, CNBC will not be covering this because this is just not newsworthy that an independent organization would be doing a Freedom of Information Act request on a former chairman of the SEC. That's not newsworthy. Not in the United States of commie America with media that's captured by government. No, we don't cover that. Here's part of the text that's important right here. Records request. All records relating to the communications from May 2017 through December of 2020 between Jay Clayton and Jasmine Burgess, John D. Agostino, Joshua Barlow, Theodore Antoniadis, Alan Eldad Howard, Jeffrey Taylor Grant, Tamara Peters, Vanessa Ann Williams, Aaron Landy, and David Portnoff. And I believe most of these people have to do with Jay Clayton and One River. Can't remember if Apollo is included in that. Then John Deaton responds, when I first raised the huge conflicts of interest and gross appearance of impropriety related to the Clayton Hinman tenure at the SEC, I was called a conspiracy theorist by many in the industry. Then my 75,000 friends, along with our incredible sleuths, joined in uncovering much more. We raised such a legitimate issue that a non-crypto related entity, Empower, sues the SEC. Its non-compliance with the Freedom of Information Act. Empower obtained emails proving Hinman, with Clayton's full knowledge and tacit approval, violated them multiple times. It's Empower oversight conspiracy theorists as well, I ask, because they're doing more. Many in the industry want the truth to be forgotten or buried and return of a bull market. My response, the truth doesn't care about your bags, it's coming. The truth is coming, folks. Cowboy Crypto points this out, having to do with the release. They submitted this list. All names are associated with One River Asset Management. They have 3 investors: Coinbase, Goldman Sachs, Liberty Mutual. Coinbase's asset management's new CIO, Eric Peters, is also one of One River's founder, CEO, CIO. Coinbase acquired One River in March 2023. I forgot to mention the most important part, and that is that Cowboy Crypto is the official cowboy of the digital asset investor channel. Then John Deaton came in on this again, and he says, let's not forget Clayton was the only commissioner to see and read the draft of speech before it was given. Hinman did not send a copy to Hester Pierce. That's right. Crypto Mom didn't get a heads up regarding the biggest speech in crypto history. Now check this out, folks. This doesn't have anything to do with the Empower request. When I first saw the request, I thought maybe they had a new dump and they had gotten a new batch of emails, but I think I was wrong. I don't think that's what it was. And I was going through the documents and I saw this, and I couldn't remember. I didn't think I had ever seen this. This is a crypto meeting that was held at the SEC, and when I started seeing the names, I was like, okay, well now I know what that is. If you look at the names, Scott Kapoor and Ryan Howard from Andreessen Horowitz. Now those names you wouldn't recognize in the context that I'm going to give them. Dax Hansen and Lowell Ness you would recognize. These guys are from Union Square Ventures. There's Nancy Wotas and Karen Ubell from Cooley Godward. Lila Tesler, Lee Schneider, we've showed videos of him. McDermott, Will, and Emery, we knew they were in those meetings. Brad Burnham of Union Square Ventures is the guy that gave the presentation. We knew that. And then Justin Field was from that National Venture Capital Association. On the phone was Joseph Grunfest and Adam Sterling, which I don't think I knew that. I did know that those two guys were involved in the meetings, okay, because Nancy Wotas had said so. And then the required attendees, Bill Hinman, Valerie Chapinick, I don't know who that is, Amy Starr, anyway, a few others. So if you remember when we were uncovering ETHgate, here's a video that lays out exactly what I just showed you.
And I think that's where
remember, this is when we had no documents. Okay, this is when we were trying to piece together what had happened with no documents. It took years for Empower and others to start getting SEC documents because they were trying to, this agency that's supposed to work for the people was hiding the documents from the public.
And I think that's where Brad came in and made an incredibly effective presentation in one of the days that we met with a variety of people at the commission as well as the CFTC. And so we got to hear the presentation at least 6 times that day. But it was so effective, and you could see light bulbs going on in their heads.
So basically we were arguing for.
That's Brad Burnham from Union Square Ventures, and remember, the only thing in their presentation was Ethereum, and the Safe Harbor Act, the Safe Harbor memo did not mention anything except for Ethereum.
Re-decentralization of the web, and we were pointing out that we're living in an era of very rapid consolidation around Google, Apple, Facebook, Amazon, and that competing with those, what I will call data monopolies, is not really possible by offering a better service. We actually saw this movie in the mid-90s when Microsoft consolidated the entire PC software industry, and IBM tried to compete with Microsoft by offering a better operating system called OS2 and failed miserably. What ultimately undid Microsoft's hegemony in the mid-90s was a shift in venue from the desktop to the web, and a shift in business model from packaged software to open source. It was really impossible for Microsoft to open source Windows given how much they had invested in their existing business model and their distribution channels. So the only way that one can expect it to compete with these dominant data monopolies is by changing the game, by changing the way the market works. And so if we think of the internet as an open public communications medium that fundamentally altered the way the entire media industry works, blockchains are open public data stores. The thing that Google, Apple, Facebook, Amazon will not be able to do is open up their data sets. And so the argument that we made to the SEC is that this is the next wave of technology. If we're going to open the market for another wave of innovation, for emergent, bottom-up startup innovation, the only possibility we have is to change the game, and this is the best chance we have. That's the argument.
And we also argued that they should just give clarity to Ethereum, because we all are going to be gathering up all the tokens, and we're also probably, I'm not saying they are, there's a good chance we're the disguised whales from the ICO. Now, look at what Stephen Narioff said in response to what I posted. He says, "Oh, this date shall live in infamy. Wait until you see what else happened this day to silence me and cover up their sins. They're hiding more than the motives behind the speech." He does a hashtag Dirty Hinman, hashtag Crypto Judas, hashtag Crooked Elbow Joe, SEC. He wants the SEC to see this. This Narioff is pissed. All right. Then we've got this, Stefan Huber, Mr. Huber, that is. The SEC's Edgar log files it's around the dates that Empower's asking for. The SEC's Edgar log from July 17th until May 2020 are no longer available. You claim the SEC is not releasing this data because it's out of date. Okay, then why is the data prior to 2017 available? You claim the SEC has a legitimate reason for not making this data available. Then why doesn't the SEC give that reason? Fact is, the SEC this is him talking, not me. SEC is a criminal organization that continues to try to cover up their crimes of the cartel boss's latest term. And then this reminded me of when Ashley Prosper did a Freedom of Information Act request to get emails between JP Morgan and the SEC about Ripple and or XRP, I think. And JP Morgan all of a sudden had 47 million emails disappear that were under subpoena. Go figure. I think I'll end it there. I've got other stuff. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe. Hit the like button. Tell your friends and family that JP Morgan just has 47 million emails. They just disappeared, and the SEC, they no longer have access to these records. Who needs them, you know? Thanks for listening.